All right, Shalom. My name is Lamad from the GMS, the Engineer 2 camp, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the sincere Akim, laboring in true sincerity. Today, I ran across this article. It's entitled from Wall Street Journal. The national debt clock got a facelift. It was running out of digits, and that goes back to a scripture came to mind, which I'm gonna get into in a second. But I mean, that's one thing that our people kind of slips our minds in the back of our head is this debt clock or whatever, because according to prophecy, going back to the scripture Habakkuk 2:6, which I'm gonna read. Matter of fact, I'll get that first, then I'll read the article. Or it's like I'll read the article first, and then because it makes a couple points that are worthy. Um, So it says it's back after nearly 6 months in the repair shop. The national debt clock was mounted in New York City near Times Square last week. Grim message: the U.S. owes its creditors. Hold, let me make sure I get this right. 20 trillion 546 billion 926 million 554,467.78 cents. Right? Niggas back his neck look like Forrest Whitaker. So yeah, so basically, that this is setting the tone for the time that we're living in, because like I heard people say no country has ever been in that type of debt before, right? And I mean, no country has ever been in this type of debt. This is a biblical proportion type debt. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna get this scripture real quick. This is Habakkuk 2:6. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, saying, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that laded in himself with thick clay." And when you look up that thick clay, it's talking about basically see, it says weight of pledges, and then it says heavy debt. So that's what it's talking about. And basically, America, or which we know is Babylon the Great, according to the Bible, it's laden in itself with thick clay, meaning that they put themselves in a situation that they're not going to be able to recover from or whatever. You know what I mean? Which was foolish, but it's all according to the will of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, because it was meant for them to not be able to recover themselves out of this debt that they're in. So going back to this article, it says, and in case that number doesn't hit home, the digital tracker breaks it down. Your family share, it says $172,560. So it says a 20-foot wide billboard owned by the Durst organization, a family-owned real estate empire based in Manhattan, just got a $160,000 rehab to replace the digital display and wiring and freshen the facade. It says Chairman Douglas Durst said the family decided against modernizing the slightly dated look of the sign because it reminds people that it has been a problem for a while. It says it is a silent vigil that reminds people that the government needs to live within its means, he said. And that's the spirit of Babylon. Like right now, you know what I mean? I'm with the brother Amataza, and we were going to I was going to grab something real quick, something my woman needed or whatever, and I'm like, damn, I forgot it was December, which is like Christmas season, so they're doing like the parking lot is packed like all the way to the back. You know what I mean? We gotta drive all the way to the back. You know what I mean? Soon you're gonna have to be like making circuits around the parking lot just to be found, like a shark waiting for somebody to pull out and then jump in the spot. You know what I mean? It's gonna get that bad. So that's the time we're living in. It's like people, they're getting people stuff. They're just being consumers. They're buying things that they don't really need or whatever. And that's the same thing, that the government does. You know what I'm saying? Look at which is a small example. Look at the like road work in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right? they'll like break open the streets, and that's, you know what I'm saying. There's so many potholes and things that they just like patch, because instead of them actually fixing the rules, like paving the whole rules, they'll just do some work and just patch it, and it'll create like potholes, and sometimes they don't even fill them up and stuff. You know what I mean? Or they don't fill it to where it's level, to where you gotta like slow down. You might mess up your suspension and stuff on your car, because you know what I mean. You might even get a fucking flat tire or a slow leak or something because of the way the roads are. And you know what I'm saying, the government spending is what they'll do is they'll in order for their budget, because like with their budgets they gotta go over their budget in order to ask for more money and all that stuff. So that's what they'll do. They'll just start demoing roads and streets, and then not even get to really fixing it back up and all that stuff, but they'll just do it just to make, if it's not really work, something that needs to get done, they'll just make something that needs to get done, so they'll get paid or whatever. And they're just, the same thing with the military. You know what I'm saying? They'll buy things for a high price to make it like so that they have to spend more money the next year or whatever. You know what I mean? The fiscal year for the next year. So it said Mr. Durst isn't optimistic the situation will improve, noting the current occupant of the Oval Office once called himself the king of debt. Yeah, talking about Barack Obama, because I believe when he was in office, it was like the debt increased like way dramatically when he was in office, more than any other presidents before him. So it says over the summer and fall, the sign got an overhaul at Spectrum Signs, an old Bethpage on New York's Long Island. The billboard stood gutted and forlorn in the vast workshop. It displayed dark wires spilling from the interior. Spectrum had fabricated and installed signs all over Times Square in mid-Manhattan, including the Broadway show The Lion King and the restaurant chain Applebee's, said Vice President Tom Mora, who oversaw the project for Spectrum. But this job was especially exciting. It's an icon and shown all over the world. He said it's on the TV news quite often. Uh, Observing the sign while it was in the shop, Spectrum President Harvey Brooks said the rehab included new circuitry and LEDs. They started to dim down a little bit, he said. We'll replace them and bring it back to its original brilliance, give it life again. Which, I mean, America's not going to come out of this, you know what I'm saying, national debt or whatever. They could show people, remind people as much as they want. There's no way that they're going to be able to come out of this debt. Happy New Year. Your share of the national debt is 35,000. At the time, the debt stood at 2.7 trillion. The clock tracked the debt until 2000, when the total hit 5.7 trillion and started to reverse. Douglas Durst, who succeeded his father, pulled the plug. It says, all right, so who succeeded his father pulled the plug on the display, stating it had served its purpose. The clock was covered up. It says within 2 years, the debt resumed its climbing and the clock was relit in 2008, when the total shot past 10 trillion. 10 trillion. And the clock ran out of digits. Its dollar sign was replaced with a 1. Since then, the debt has doubled. Yes. So, yeah. Let me see what else pertinent information can I bring out from right here. I mean, well, it's giving you all this stuff about how they installed it and all this stuff. Well, yeah, it says, all right, the new and improved clock, the clock can only run up to 99 trillion, which, I mean, man, that's a lot of fucking money. Yeah, that's almost 20% of the Rothschilds' wealth and shit. It says, let's see what other stuff. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So the last scripture I have is Jeremiah 51:7. Is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7 says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. It made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So Babylon, we know, is talking about America, and it's saying that America made all the nations drink of their philosophies. You know what I'm saying? And the nations were mad because they see how democracy and all that is not playing in their favor. It's like bullshit. The philosophies, you know what I'm saying? Um, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. Yeah, so this Babylon is suddenly falling because you know it's no way on earth, you know what I'm saying, that America is going to come out of this debt. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High basically set it up to be that way. Because the Most High is, at the end of the day, the Most High is wants Babylon to go down. So, I mean, you know, this clock or whatever is just symbolic of the debt that one aspect of Babylon's destruction. So people need to really keep that in the back. When we go out to camp, this is something we should be still pushing. Also, is the debt, because it's not gonna decrease; it's just gonna get worse. You know. And I mean, it's just like, some brothers, they got debts also, but it's like a debt, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could pay stuff back, but it's like this debt is just like crazy. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to pay this debt back. So it just goes to show you that the Most High is wants to bring Babylon down. And it says, if so be she may be healed. But we know that's like I forget what it's called.
Facetious statement.
Yeah, facetious statement, right? So we know that the Most High is not going to do that. It's just the scripture is just phrasing it in that way, but we know that the Most High isn't going to do that. So, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi. Double honors to El is a great millstone, and shalom to all sincere Akim, and shalom.